Good morning, everyone. Let's do a poem today, and the topic is O Captain, My Captain, written by Walter Watt Whitman. In this poem, the poet wants to make a comparison, and the comparison is here regarding a ship's voyage in the sea, the various difficulties, various obstacles, various hard times, hardships, whatever it faces in the time of its voyage, that has been compared here with the American Civil War, which was in progress in those times, at the time when the President of America was no other than President Abraham Lincoln. How he had led this and how he had been able to success in this civil war which was going on at that time, what were the problems faced, what were the difficulties that it arise, that a kind of comparison it has been made here regarding this American Civil War as well as the voyage in a sea. So let's go and try to understand the various lines in the poem, how the comparison it has been made. First of all, I am going to read out the first stanza of the poem. Please try to listen and follow me. O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every rag, the prize we shot is won. The port is near, the bells I hear, the people all exulting, while follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring. But O heart, 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 O the bleeding drops of red, where on the deck my captain lies, fallen cold and dead. So, in these lines, what we are able to understand is that the speaker is a crewman. Okay? The speaker is a crewman on a ship. He tells his captain that their difficult trip is over and it's been a success. Here we are able to understand the captain is trying to make all the people in the ship, those who were having the trip, he tells them that their trip is almost near to its end and now they are almost going to get success of it. They are nearing the port, they are very close to come to the port, they are very near to the port, they are coming to near to their harbor, they are nearing to the port where a crowd wants to celebrate their return in this way. The crowd is waiting in the port, the crowd, they are in very much good in number, they are waiting eagerly for their return and they want to celebrate their victory, the voyage in which they had been successful. For that the entire crowd wants to celebrate. This is what we are able to understand in these initial lines, like O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done, our dangerous, our so daring trip is almost over. The ship has weathered every wreck, the prize we shot is won. The ship had done a very hard work, very challenging situation that the ship had faced, and now whatever were desire, our wish, our target, it has been already done. Almost we are near to our victory. The prize we shot is won means that the port is near the bells. I hear the people all exiting. The ship is almost near to its port and we can hear those bells, the sounds of the bells, the sounds of the people cheering, the welcoming everyone, those who are returning back, those all sounds could be heard. That is what the poet mean to say. While follow eyes the steady keel, the vessel grim and daring, almost the ship is also going to reach its shore and about to go and take rest. It is going to steady keel means it's almost going and take its rest. Keel, here it means, keel means still structure along the base of the ship which goes and rests on the shore. This is what the people are able to notice and they are about to celebrate. Then it is there on a fugitive level. The poem lines introduce the metamorphical comparisons in the poem. At the same time there is a comparison too, right, which I have already told you in the initial lines itself that it is a kind of comparison with the civil war in those times, which was in progress in those times, at the time when Abraham Lincoln was the president. I think in history sometimes you might be able to come across to know how the civil war had occurred in America at the time when Abraham Lincoln was the president of the country, So at that time, here the captain is referred to whom? The captain is referred to no other than Abraham Lincoln himself. The captain is Abraham Lincoln and the ship is America. The ship which is referred here is America. The country America is the ship here who had been going. The ship which had been going for a long, challenging voyage. In the way, the country America had been going and facing a very great challenging civil war in those times. This is a kind of comparison which has been made here. At the same time, the fearful trip successfully completed in the civil war. And that's what, finally at the end, this fearful trip, this challenging civil war had come to its very fruitful end and the countrymen were rejoicing. But at the same time, there were certain disappointments also, which we are going to read in the further lines in the poem, like, but O heart, 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 O our dear captain, O our dear heart. This is how the poet is liking to refer the captain to be as their dearest by referring as heart. O the bleeding drops of red. Who is being referred here? The captain is referred here as to be the bleeding drops of red, bleeding drops of blood. He was severely injured. He was severely at the time of war was done harm. That is what his entire body was bleeding. The blood were covered all around his body. Anyone who could notice were able to understand that the captain was really almost dead in condition. Where on the deck my captain lies. The captain was at that time lying on the deck of the ship and condition was almost fallen cold and dead. He was lying dead. This is only what the grief, the sorrow which they were facing at that moment. Otherwise, they had already won the battle. They had already won the war and they were liking to rejoice. And they were liking to rejoice with whom? With their likable person, no other than their captain, that is to whom it is referred, Abraham Lincoln. This is what we come to learn here and understand in this first stanza of the poem, children. That's all. Now let's go to the second stanza, line by line. O captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Here the poet is liking to tell to the captain of the ship. The captain of the ship is here to whom referred? Abraham Lincoln himself. That is what it is told here. O captain, my captain, rise up and hear the bells. Please get up and see how the people are rejoicing all around. How the bells, sound of the bells can be heard. That tells it that how much the people are now at this moment very happy and want to celebrate. That is what they are making the sounds of the bell too. Rise up, for you the flag is flung. It is for you only. The victory flag is being flung. The victory flag is being swayed in the air. Just rise up and see the sight, how it is enjoyable, how it is so much likable. This is what the people are now trying to tell to whom? They are trying to tell to their favorite, that is their own captain, that is their beloved Abraham Lincoln. Rise up, for the flag is flung for you. The bugle trills everywhere. The sounds, bugle, here it means a brass instrument like a small trumpet, generally without keys and used for military signals. Such type of instruments were also being used for making the sounds at the same time. It was also heard the trills, plays, notes alternately in quick succession. Various type of instruments were also being used in order to produce the sounds, the bell sounds. For what? For the purpose of rejoice, for the purpose of celebration. All people wanted to have a grand celebration because of their victory, because of their the situation where they have at this moment come finally and ultimately, after a hard time, after a great struggle, after a long journey. Now how the ships go for a voyage and for a long journey, for a long period of time, when they come back, in success, how do the people, those who are in the journey, they like to rejoice? Similar in the way, here the people, those who have won this civil war, finally have come to the end of this civil war, they also want to rejoice with great pomp and show. This is what it is understood here. For you, bouquets and ribboned wreaths, for you the shores are crowding. For you only so much of the bouquets of the flower, and at the same time the ribboned wreaths, the flowers which are sewed in the strings with the leaves in it, has been made ready for your welcome, for your honor. These all things are made, and the people, those who are near the shores, are crowding and making cheering sounds for you only. This is how the speaker implores his captain to get up because everything is for him. Whatever the arrangements has been made here, whoever the people have been gathered here, the bells which is ringing, the musics which are produced, the flowers which has been made ready, the bouquets of flowers, the strings of flowers, the wreaths of flowers, whatever it has been made here ready, and the flags which are being sung, it is all for whom? It is only for the captain, their dear captain. The gathered crowd is there to celebrate the captain's victory, and they can't wait to see him. The speaker shows denial by asking someone he knows is dead to rise up. He can't fully accept that it's true. The speaker is not here able to realize this, to accept this, that whatever it has happened to the captain, that might be true. It is referred here that the captain is dead, so the speaker is not ready to accept it. That is why he is making such a great request, such a great eagerness that he is showing, and asking again and again to get up and see and notice, and whatever the arrangements has been made here for his victory, that is, he could see by it himself. That is why he is making such type of request here. For you, they call the swaying mass, their eager faces turning. Here, captain, dear father, the captain is referred here as father. He is referred as to be the father of the nation. That is why he is called here, O father, dear captain, this arm beneath your head, the arm in which your head is resting at the moment, it is some dream that on the deck you have fallen cold and dead, but you have fallen cold and dead, which is very unfortunate for us. That is what the poet, the speaker, is trying to explain here in these lines, in this second stanza of the poem. That is what we are able to understand, this particular comparison which it has been made here by the poet. Now let us move towards to the stanza 3. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. My father does not feel my arm, he has no pulse nor will. See the condition of the captain, the condition of their father. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. At that moment, the speaker was able to realize this fact, that there was no any such type of reaction which was shown by their captain, to whom he is liking to call him as his father. My captain does not answer, his lips are pale and still. Lips are looking almost pale in color, and they are very still, silent, motionless. My father does not feel my arm. That time he was able to realize that his father, that means the captain, who is referred here as father, was not able to feel his arm on which his head was resting. He has no pulse nor will. At that time, he was able to sense that there was no heartbeats or pulse beats could be heard or sensed of their captain, or nor there were will. The ship is anchored, safe and sound, its voice closed and done. At that time, the war was over. The ship has come to its end, means the ship had arrived to the ship was anchored, which means the war which was going on, the civil war which was going on, was almost over. To reach its shore means to come its end. Safe and sound, its voice closed on. Very safely the voice was over. That means the civil war which was going was also over in a very peaceful manner now. Almost it was completed. From fearful trip, the victor ship comes in with object 1. That is what it was understood here by the speaker himself, that whatever the trip it was earlier, so fearful, so dangerous, with full of challenges, but finally and ultimately now this whatever the challenges were overcome. Now there were no more such any danger, because the voyage was over. Come it with object 1, because finally they had come to its success. The voyage was in success, that means the war was with full of success. Exult, O shores, and rings of bells. That is why the celebration was going on. Everywhere the people were cheering. All around the sounds of joy was heard, and at the same time the bells of the church also could be heard at the same time. But with mournful tread, but at this moment the speaker wants to tell, even though it was the time for celebration, even though it was the time for rejoice, everywhere the sounds were heard, the bells were heard, the cheering notes were heard. The time was really very a time of celebration,